What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. And yes, I still have my mittens on me. The heater in this office still hasn't been fixed. I contacted the property owner. They said the guy that fixes the normal heaters isn't here. He's not going to be back here until like Saturday. So I am literally freezing my ass off. Like, it's no joke right now. It is super cold in here. And ironically, this thing stops working literally like the week of the coldest weeks in Georgia. Like, the coldest weeks, it decides to stop working. So worst timing, but I got my mittens. I bought this little like portable heater. It's right next to me. So if you guys hear something in the background, that's what it is. It doesn't really do much. It was fairly cheap. I bought it for like $60 just to have something, because man, it is freezing here. So let's continue the podcast regardless. I got some warm coffee here too, so hopefully that helps out. Great news though. I am working on getting a sponsor for this podcast, like a consistent one. And it's not going to be a sponsor that's going to know you guys and stuff like that, but it's a positive step in getting more funds to grow this thing and get more content out there and just more content in general overall with everything that I do. So we are working on that, and if the sponsor comes and we finalize the deal, I need you guys to support that sponsor as much as possible. Like, as much as possible. Whatever you guys can do to support it, share it, like it, buy the product, whatever it is. Whatever you can do in your means, please support it. I'd really appreciate it. Let's get into the news, and immediately, and I agree with the judge here, YNW Melly's double murder retrial gets a new start date as the judge grows tired of delays. YNW Melly and the prosecutors charging them will begin to select a jury in 7 weeks. Whether they're ready or not, Judge John J. Murphy III has declared that the Murder on My Mind rapper's retrial for the alleged double murder of his crew members, YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie, will begin on March 5th or as soon thereafter as this case may be heard, according to a document filed last week. The expedited start date comes because Melly has been in custody for more than 750 days while awaiting trial. The document makes clear the rapper was arrested in February 2019 and has seen his retrial pushed back numerous times in recent months. According to reporter Bryson Paul, shout out to Bryson Paul, he's a beast, doing a great job. Judge Murphy expressed urgency in getting the retrial underway at a court hearing on Friday, January 12th. I agree. First off, YNW Melly's been locked up for a really, really long time. Whether he did it or not, especially if somebody that's innocent and they didn't do it and they've been locked up this whole time, that is totally unfair, of course, as we all know. But I don't know why these things take forever to start, really. A lot of these things should be, especially if it's a serious case like this, it should be expedited, done, out the way, finished. Actually, I don't know, you could debate, if it's not a serious case, like say you stole something, then you could be like, you know what, this needs to go quicker. But usually those things get settled for the most part pretty quickly. Depending on your situation. Some people get screwed in those situations, but in this case, it should have been, started a while ago. It did start, retrial, very unfortunate, but so we got March 5th as a date for the start of a retrial for YNW Melly's double murder case. So we'll keep our eye out on that, and I'm glad they finally selected a date. Speaking of trials and murder trials, this one I honestly thought never would happen, but as the years have gone on, finally, there was somebody that was caught when it comes to the murder of Jam Master Jay. And we're finally getting a start date for the murder trial. So let's go over the article. Jam Master Jay's untimely death over 2 decades ago brought one of hip-hop's most praiseworthy narratives to a screaming halt. But those allegedly responsible for the killing are finally set to see their day in court. On Monday, January 15th, TMZ reported that the murder trial for the Run DMC DJ and record producer is set to commence on January 29th. The jury selection, which began last week, involves over 500 candidates and is expected to be finalized by January 22nd. In 2020, Carl Jordan Jr., 39 years old, and Ronald Washington, 59, were indicted for the New York City shooting that left the 37-year-old legend dead inside a Queens recording studio. The upcoming trial will be centered on their defense. Last year, Jay Bryant, 49, became the third person to be charged in the case, though his trial will most likely take place in 2025. Because of the gap between the above indictments, the proceedings may feature a dual jury as federal prosecutors are looking to streamline the proceedings against all three defendants. According to court documents, the government submitted a motion to advocate for a two-jury trial, which is pretty rare. Bryant's lawyer, Cesar de Castro, has indicated that his client will plead not guilty, saying that securing an indictment in a secret grand jury, applying an extremely low burden of proof is one thing, proving it at a trial is another matter. Jordan and Washington have also pleaded not guilty though a judge dismissed a motion to have their charges dropped last year. The trio are alleged to have entered Jam Master Jay's studio and fled after the fatal shooting, with Jordan firing 2 shots at the victim at close range, including one to the head that killed him. Prosecutors claim that Bryant was seen entering the building immediately before the shooting and left behind an article of clothing at the crime scene, which contained his DNA. An investigation revealed that the slaying was over a drug deal gone wrong, with Jam Master Jay allegedly acquiring roughly 10 kilograms of cocaine worth an estimated $1.7 million from a Midwest narcotics supplier months before his death. When the hip-hop pioneer sought to exclude Jordan and Washington from the large multi-state drug deal, they murdered him in cold blood, a prosecutor said in their 2020 indictment against the two men. What does that say about how much money hip-hop was making back then, where someone who was a prominent member of Run DMC had to go back to selling drugs to make money, which is like, I understand that, certain, artists fall off and then they can't live this certain lifestyle that they once had. But the fact that, he went back to dealing with that, maybe had he ran into 50 Cent a little bit earlier. Well, actually he did. I'm tripping. What am I talking about? Had he kind of honed in more on 50, which he did in the 1998, 1999. Had he honed in more on 50, I think, at this time when he was murdered in October 2002. That's when he died, when he got murdered. At this time, 50's buzz was going crazy. So I think things would have been different had he had like some sort of dealing with 50. Because had he had, 50 under his branch or like something dealing with him, he would have a lot of money coming in. And I think 50 would have been open to that, because Jam Master Jay like literally structured how he writes songs, how he does everything. And it's like, that's a huge role. And, 50 is usually loyal to people that do stuff like that for him. So just interesting that, he was dealing with drugs, just try to get more money. Maybe he's using it to try to fund, his artists and hope that he can get kind of, which I'm surprised. Like, I don't know if his brothers knew. Like, it would have been amazing if his brothers got involved and helped, because it's a 3-man group, so were they good financially or were they not? That's the question. But that just shows you how far hip hop has come, to the point where a legendary group like that still, I don't know. I'm just assuming, though. I don't know what their finances were. Maybe he just wanted to get into drugs just so he could flip more money, and he's already well off. So I'm just assuming things. I don't know their finances, but in my mind, I want to get into drugs if I already had finances. Even if I wasn't the richest, if I wasn't super rich and wasn't living a luxurious lifestyle, I still want to, get involved in that, because it's like I already made it legit. Now I can figure out other ways, use my name, my power of who I am as an artist, DJ, whatever, record producer, and I could, build something off that. But we don't know his situation. Maybe he spent a lot of money, had to repay it, got involved in something like this, this went left, and blah, blah, blah. So overall, it's a sad story. I'm glad that people were finally caught. The people that did it were finally caught. And I hope they get life in prison. That's obviously what they deserve. Killing somebody over something like that is just, makes no sense. They could have figured it out pretty easily, man. We're talking about Jam Master Jay. If I was dealing with Jam Master Jay, I would have been like, listen, you're Jam Master Jay. Shit. You have ties to 50, who's literally the hottest artist right now. Let's figure out something. Let's see if we can make money from different things and different, avenues. But that's not how, drug dealers and stuff like that think. It's all about the drugs and the money. If you ain't got either or, you're pretty much dead. So overall, sad situation. But I'm glad, like I said, that it feels like this year, 2024, is going to be the year for a lot of, Tupac to get his justice, and Jam Master Jay to get his justice. That'll be really cool. Because these are two cases that kind of went cold for a long time. Even though, the Jam Master Jay thing, people really legitimately didn't know, who killed him. That was like something that was mysterious to everybody. But the Tupac thing, people already knew a long, long time ago. But I'm glad that now finally somebody's getting held accountable for everything that's going on. So yeah, we'll keep our eye on this, man. The trial's gonna start January 29th. That's very soon here, like in a week and a half, 2 weeks, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Drake, Drizzy. This is exactly why people pick on Drake, and this is my proof. Wow, these gloves are getting destroyed. I don't know what's going on with these mittens here. Sorry, I keep pulling on these things here. This is why Drake, like I said, Drake gets clowned because he doesn't fire back in music. He's not aggressive. He's, what made the Drake and Meek Mill thing so special is because Drake showed up to be more aggressive. That's what made the situation special. When Drake didn't show up to be more aggressive, if he didn't, then people would have been like, oh, it's Drake, Meek Mill wins. But the fact that Drake came back with Charged Up, came with back-to-back, attacked immediately, it gave people a perspective that, whoa, Drake's not the one to be fucked with. And then really, after that, I don't remember Drake really getting into much beef after that. Or at least people were throwing subliminals and that's it. But this is a new Drake. This is a Drake that talks a lot on social media, but doesn't make music backing it up. So Drake has fired back at Yasin Bey, or you could say Mos Def, and he went to Instagram immediately and decided to post a video of Method Man. So let's go over the article. Drake has hit back Mos Def with a little help from Method Man. Bey, formerly known as, I don't know how to pronounce that right, Bey, I'm saying Bey over here, but it's B-E-Y. B-E-Y. So criticized Drizzy in a recent interview. Like I told you guys, he considered him a pop artist and not a hip-hop artist, which is, what the funny thing about this is I was getting comments saying that what did Drake pay you to say all this? What are you, Drake, you're Drake dick rider? And I'm like, dude, I get criticized for not defending Drake, for hating on Drake, quote unquote. So now all of a sudden, I defend him on something, and all of a sudden, you can't win in these type of situations. People are going to say I'm a dick rider or a hater, either or. Nobody's like in the middle with these things. I feel like I'm in the middle with Drake. Yes, I like a lot of stuff he does. Yes, I criticize a lot of stuff he does, but I think you should be in the middle with a lot of things. But continuing on, Drake, the Canadian superstar, has responded, taking to his Instagram stories on Monday, January 15th. Drake posted an old interview clip of Method Man while writing, "What Umi say again? Let me shine my light, King. Don't change up now," referencing Bey's classic song, Umi Says. The video in question finds the Wu-Tang Clan legend explaining what hip-hop is to him. Hip-hop is a culture. It's a way of life, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you walk. It's the breakdancing, rhymes, stage show, DJ mixing, and scratching, the wordplay. That's hip-hop, he says. And I can play the clip for you guys instead of hearing me talk about it.
Culture. It's a way of life, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you walk. It's the breakdancing, the rhymes, the stage shows, the DJ, the mixing, the scratching, the wordplay. That's hip hop. The staircase MC. You know what I'm saying? House parties, block parties, rec room parties. All that is hip hop. Wu-Tang is hip hop.
I agree with a lot of that. Obviously, I mean, Wu-Tang is probably one of the most purest hip hop. I think hip hop, man, to me, is just a form of expression. And, like I said, man, if you have a certain preference and you like to listen to certain things, there's nothing wrong with that. I hate the people that will criticize you for listening to certain type of music in hip hop. There is something for everybody in hip hop. That's what makes this genre the number one genre, is because there's always something for everybody. And that's what makes it beautiful as well. So me, I like all kinds of stuff. You guys saw my top 10 list. I'll listen to mumble artists and I'll listen to lyrical, shmerical, weiracle. So, I think Drake's response, I wish would have been on music. Like I always say, I wish Drake would go just full out, attack everybody, say what he has to say, get it off his chest, and whoever fires back, fires back. Do like a Kendrick Control type of thing, or a 50 Cent Piggy Bank type of thing. So something like that, man. But of course, we're gonna get Instagram, posts. And to be fair, I mean, if Mos Def jumped on a mic and dissed him, it would be better. But Mos Def just kind of randomly I don't even know how he ended up talking about Drake because the interview is like a Patreon exclusive, so you can't watch the full thing. But it'd been interesting to see how the conversation even got brought up like that because we only saw a clip of it, so who knows? But yeah, we'll keep our eye out. I doubt anything's gonna come of this. I think people are just gonna move on, and it is what it is. I think it's unfortunate because a lot of these opportunities could have been cool hip hop competitive moments, but that's the kind of blessing and curse of social media. You get the greatness of social media. You get a lot of you get updated on a lot of things. You know, we're way more connected than we used to, and now the negative is that a lot of artists just go straight to social media instead of expressing how they feel about situations on music, which is why I actually like Young Buck. One is my favorite. The reason why he's one of my favorites is because he'll go through something in the public, and then instead of going on social media and talking about it, which he does sometimes, don't get me wrong, he'll make a track about it. It's like, why not do that? Why not take that approach, man? Take what you're going through at the moment, make a song about it. But not everybody's wired like that, unfortunately. So at least if I was an artist, I would do that. I would not be running social media unless it was something like if it was like a joke or something light, or if it's somebody I don't really take serious, then I'd be like, you know what, you're not worth a song, man. You're worth a social media post. Some people aren't even worth responding to, but sometimes social media posts, that's fine. But if it's somebody like Mos Def, come on, that's one of the most lyrical, most purest hip hop artists that there ever is. So, he's worthy of a rap battle. That's not even a question for debate, but I can keep on dreaming. Let's just say that. Continuing on, Diddy, Puffy. Well, it looks like the campaign of no Puffy juice, the hashtag that 50 used back when he had F and vodka, you would always hashtag no Puffy juice. It looks like that hashtag that started in 2015, 9 years later, finally came to fruition. There's no longer any Puffy juice because of this. So let's go over the article. Diddy's run with Ciroc and Deleon has come to an end as the mogul is no longer suing the company the liquor brands were under for negligence. So if you guys remember a long time ago on the podcast, this is way back in May, I think, reported on Diddy suing these companies due to racism and branding his products as just urban and not more marketable to a wider audience. He was suing for that. So on Tuesday, January 16th, the Bad Boys Records founder and Diageo issued a joint statement to announce that their issues were no longer unraveled in court. Additionally, the New York City Natives business partnership with organization is also officially over. Sean Combs and Diageo have now agreed to resolve all disputes between them, the press release read. Mr. Combs has withdrawn all of his allegations about Diageo and will voluntarily dismiss his lawsuits against Diageo with prejudice. Diageo and Mr. Combs have no ongoing business relationship, either with respect to Ciroc vodka or Deleon tequila, which Diageo now solely owns. Last year, Diddy sued the multinational alcohol company, claiming that it neglected the Deleon tequila brand while throwing their full support behind George Clooney's Casamigos. As reported, the Wall Street Journal, lawsuit was filed by Combs Wine and Spirits of Manhattan Supreme Court. It alleged that Diageo poured all its resources to back in the Hollywood superstar's tequila brand after acquiring it in 2017 for around $1 billion. Furthermore, the 54-year-old accused them of racial discrimination and alleged that the company marketed his Deleon brand as an urban and black tequila brand. Now, the thing about this is a lot of people are saying it's because he did this lawsuit why all these allegations are coming. It's always something that people like to point towards, instead of just saying, listen, maybe this guy's just a piece of shit and bad person. If he actually did those things, by the way. We don't know 100%, but, when you're settling these things, it's kind of looks a little suspicious. But instead of people just looking at it like, hey, this guy's a human being and he can do bad things, there's always a conspiracy theory sometimes tied to these things. It's like, oh, Bill Cosby, they took Bill Cosby down because he wanted to purchase, what was it, CBS or some shit? And now they're like, oh, they're taking Diddy down because he sued a big liquor company. Like, nah, that's not, now, is that possible? Is there a chance that these things are tied and the liquor company said, listen, if you're going to sue us for these things, we're going to destroy your whole brand and image, and you're not going to have anything to go by. That's a possibility. I could see that happening as a possibility. But when there's multiple lawsuits, when there's somewhat proof, literally that woman that sued has photos of her in the studio sitting on Diddy's lap, and there's multiple lawsuits, and then you settle the biggest one with Cassie immediately, and then there's stories of other people saying other things. Other people reporting and saying, oh, Diddy saw me. I was with Diddy doing like, there's got to be something involved. There's Kid Cudi confirming, or his assistant confirming, that his car got blown up, so like all these things tied together. So there's clearly some type of evidence and proof towards that end of things. Where there's smoke, there's fire. But to dismiss all of that and just be like, oh, it's a conspiracy theory that Diddy, was going to purchase, was going to sue this company, win all the company and have all the money and be richer. That stuff is just like, I think when people throw shit out there, they're just throwing shit and seeing what sticks. Now, is there a possibility? Yes. In this world, there's a chance of a possibility of anything. But would I solely tie it to this? Nah. So, no puffy juice. It's over. No puffy juice. There is no more puffy juice. So, if you buy Ciroc, you're not supporting Diddy anymore. And if you buy Deleon, whatever the tequila is, man, all these damn tequila companies. What is it? Diageo or Deleon, whatever it's called. I don't drink, so like that at least. So I don't know what the fuck Deleon is, but yeah, if you're drinking Ciroc and Deleon, you're not supporting puffy. So no puffy juice. But yeah, that was, this was something that's gonna happen regardless. I don't think Diddy was gonna go through with this. He got invited to the Grammys, actually got nominated at the Grammys, and is not showing up because, the best thing to do in these type of situations when you're getting sued like crazy and you're in the headlines for basically everything negative, the best thing to do is just stay home and stay out the way and stay out of people's public view and everything. Just stay home and hope that, these things get settled out and finished, and then you can go back to your life if you didn't do anything wrong. Other than that, man, I want to get involved. I want to be in the Grammys and you're over here smiling, having fun, and then there's a bunch of like lawsuits, sexual assault lawsuits against you. It just makes you look really bad. Makes you look like you could give two fucks about the victims if you did anything, So, yeah, we'll keep our eye out on anything new that comes out with Diddy. But one by one, companies are leaving. One by one, he's getting dropped from things. And eventually, I don't know about the Keefe D submitting the $1 million hit tape or whatever. We don't know what's going to happen with that. But, a lot of people want to see Puffy behind bars. That's like their number one goal. I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep our eye out. R. Kelly, this is hilarious. I just wanted to talk about this because of how funny it is. R. Kelly basically didn't know he was getting sued by all these companies because he doesn't know how to read. And that's legitimately true. We're not joking around. I'm not joking around. R. Kelly never learned how to read, which is insane. We're talking about a guy who became one of the biggest R&B artists of all time, you could argue. And the guy's a musical genius but can't read. Which, like, if you're making millions, I think you would hope that you could read, So let's go over the article. R. Kelly has lost a $10.5 million lawsuit stemming from his attempt to stop a surviving R. Kelly screening years back. But the singer says he never even knew about the suit to be able to fight it. As previously reported, 6 women sued both Kelly and his former manager, Donald Russell, for making terroristic threats to shut down the documentary screening back in September 2018. In August of last year, the women won the suit for a joint total of $10.5 million. But according to documents obtained by TMZ on Monday, January 15th, R. Kelly said he's been sued so many times as of late that it's nearly impossible to keep up with everything, especially from behind bars. He also claims he's since changed legal teams and that the suit must have fallen through the cracks in the changeover. In addition, he added that he wouldn't have been able to understand the lawsuit even if he did get it, as he still has not yet learned to read or understand words beyond that of a grade schooler. That is insane to like. That just shows that, like, you can pretty much do anything in this life. You don't have to know basic abilities. But either way, R. Kelly adds that he's innocent and that Donald was not his manager and he acted on his own to shut the screening down. He did that for his own reasons, the embattled singer wrote in the document. In other news, R. Kelly recently filed a suit against the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Yeah, for leaking his phone calls with Tasha K. Yeah, it's just funny, man. I think the downfall of R. Kelly is, I went over some of the documents that were released from, the women that were accusing him of things. And the guy is just a sick person, man. I'm going to do a R. Kelly documentary. I always talked about this. I'm going to do one in the future and break down pretty much everything. That might be a Patreon only video because doing those type of documentaries on YouTube, they're not going to fly because they're so they're too gruesome. Maybe I could like in detail wise, they're too gruesome. Maybe I can probably do a clean version potentially, but it's going to be censored so much that, I don't think it's going to come out right. I don't know yet. I'm just kind of throwing things out there. But when I do work on that, I'm going to do a Patreon version. It's going to be really uncut and raw. And the things this guy was doing to women was like literally out of horror movies. Like even a Hollywood scriptwriter couldn't come up with this shit. Very sick individual, man. And it's unfortunate because he's such a talented artist that could have been so much greater, so much better, but just ruined his whole legacy and, image and everything. So the downfall of R. Kelly has been amazing. It should have happened a lot earlier, and everybody that didn't report these things when they were happening, they should get prosecuted as well. That's how I feel about these situations. I feel like if you know about these things and you don't speak about these things till years down the line and you're worried about your reputation, you're worried about getting fired, you should get prosecuted as well. Because it's like you're basically an accomplice. You're helping this person do these things. But that's a whole different subject because even with the Diddy stuff, I think if, one of the bodyguards came out and was like talking about all these things, I'm like, dude, you witness all these things and you haven't said shit till now. It's like, but, people are like, oh, he used to work for him. So if he would have said something, he would have lost his paycheck. He wouldn't be able to feed his family. Like, nah, man, I could give 2 fucks about that. I would immediately find a new job. I'd first find the new job, put my resignation in for 2 weeks, and then after I'm officially gone out of there and with the new job, I will then file the reports and say stuff. If that's what you're worried about. Me personally, I couldn't witness that with my own eyes and not say something. So if I ever get to a Hollywood fame level where I'm just top of the top, and know that if I ever saw some bullshit like that, I will say something immediately. Like I don't let shit like that slide. For me, I can't, with my conscience, I can't sleep knowing that I know something like that bad, and somebody's doing it, and I'm not reporting on it. I'm not telling people about it because that's fucked up. So yeah, pretty funny, man. R. Kelly can't read, which is, something I knew, but it was just funny that he lost a $10.5 million lawsuit because of that. Speaking of people and lawsuits and rating and checking on things, FBI. This is interesting, and I wanted to talk about this because this is true. This is very surprising to people, and I will also want to do a documentary on this topic. This is true, though. This is something that is super interesting that I think, if done right, would be one of the most interesting hip-hop documentaries ever. So let's go over what I'm talking about. Benny the Butcher has said that rap stardom and a major label record deal hasn't protected him from being profiled by law enforcement. In an interview on The Breakfast Club, the rapper talked about being harassed by police and about his issues with the feds as well. He said, I do feel like I'm being harassed by police in Buffalo. He told co-host Charlemagne, I just found out I'm on FBI's watch list back home. They raided my studio about 2 months ago. So let me play the clip for you guys.
I still feel like you don't get as personal as you could. And I wonder, is it because of statute of limitations?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought about that too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things I speak on the surface because, man, I got another 5 years to 10 years to tell people what the fuck is really going on. And I can't wait. I can't wait to come back up here and talk about what the fuck is really going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? I don't break the law or no shit like that. That would be dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know what I mean? It's a lot going on, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot going on.
Because I remember hearing Jeezy say that one time. Like, I forgot what album it was, but whatever the project was, the statute of limitations was up, and he felt like he could express himself even more.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But I do want to say, I do feel like I'm being harassed. You know what I'm saying?
By police?
Yeah.
In Buffalo?
In Buffalo, hell yeah.
You say that on
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I just found out I'm on the FBI watch list back home. They raided my studio about 2 months ago. Like, you know what I mean? I haven't even been home in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I don't be knowing what the fuck is going on. They hear my name.
Mm-hmm.
These niggas is running their mouth talking. I'm the biggest shit that ever happened to Buffalo since the Wings and Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, it's getting crazy, man. It's getting crazy. And I really I almost want to just like to have a lawyer send an email to these niggas, man. And just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Is my client doing that got y'all dick hard like that y'all want to keep messing with him, keep bringing his name up? Because if y'all got TV, y'all got Instagram, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure when I see who watching my stories, you know, the pages with no profile.
No profile.
I know that's Agent Dan somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fool, so I don't post nothing like that. I don't do nothing like that. It's just, I've been hearing that since 2014 though, before anybody heard anything from me. You know what I'm saying? When we was knee deep in this shit, phone ringing every day, whole crew. So I kind of understand a little bit, but I got to be dumb to be doing that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
This isn't anything new that Benny the Butcher said. Hip Hop Police, there's actually a task force specifically in New York. I don't know in any other areas that they literally named it Hip Hop Police. And these police officers go strictly after hip hop artists. And there should be no surprise to that because all these RICO charges. You know how many artists have gone down for RICO charges? It's been ridiculous, especially these past 4 to 5 years. It's been an insane amount. I can't even go through all of them. But they're all going down for RICO charges because police officers pay attention. They know that a lot of these artists used to have street ties or still do. This is why, and I'm sorry for going back to him as always, 50 Cent was really smart in how he handled things. Bang 'em Smurf, I was about to say Benny the Butcher because it almost sounds the same. Bang 'em Smurf, 50 said was just shooting shit up. This is around the time when 50 started to buzz in 2002. Started blowing up slowly. That Bang 'em Smurf, 50 would go on tour or go here, go there. And then when we came back to Queens, Bang 'em Smurf had shot some shit up. And 50's like, what are you doing? Why are you shooting all these things up out of nowhere? You're going to get the police to investigate us. We're going to get into trouble. And we're going to get RICO charges, whatever the case may be. Yayo was talking about wanting to sell drugs again. And 50 was like, what are you talking about? We just went legit. We just made $1 million from signing with Eminem and Dr. Dre legit with no illegal money. He's like, I'm not going back to that. Anybody that wants to go back to that can go back to that, but we're cutting ties immediately. And 50 was smart in doing that, and that transition. A lot of artists made a smooth transition. Jay-Z, smooth transition. You know, he's one of those great examples of smooth transition. But the whole story of Hip Hop Police is just so interesting to me because it's utterly ridiculous to the lengths some of these police officers and FBI agents or whatever went to try to get artists locked up. Like, once again, going back to 50, because I mainly know a lot of things that 50 went through when it comes to Hip Hop Police, because 50 was actually pretty open about it. Prodigy, RIP to Prodigy, he talked about how when he got locked up, the Hip Hop Police came to him and said, listen, we'll reduce your sentencing if you can plant a gun on 50 Cent because we can't catch him. You know, we're trying to arrest him from something. Just plant a gun on him in the car, and we pull him over. We catch him with the gun, and we give him some time because we can't get 50. They were like, everything, he's just moving so smooth, and he's got nothing going on. And 50 didn't. Now, does 50 got ties to street stuff? Yes. But is he moving around stupid when it comes to that? No. You know, he keeps the, let's say, the wolves close, but not close enough to destroy everything he's got going on. And Prodigy was talking about how they try to plant a gun on him. Prodigy's like, hell no, I'm not planting a gun. Why would I plant a gun, on 50? Just so he didn't, shout out to Prodigy for that because that's real. You got to reduce the sentence and been like, yo, let me plant this gun. And probably 50 would have never found out it was Prodigy. So that's just a crazy example of the lengths that police will go through to try to get something on these artists. And I think the whole hip hop police stories and all that stuff, if I can gather all interviews and documents, because there's a lot of documents as well, and make a documentary on it, it would be perfect. And I'm going to do that in the future. I definitely want to do that. But wild story, man. Shout out to Benny the Butcher for, being more open about that and being like, listen, man, yeah, I did previous stuff, but now I'm legit, 100% legit. And they're trying to find things to try to pin him for other things. So hopefully he's not, the people that he is cool with still, he's not tied to. And staying away from your own city, you have to. One, because unfortunately a lot of artists get murdered in their own city. And two, a lot of older people, and those older people might still have ties to the streets and still be doing street stuff. And if you get seen kicking it with them, that's where police start to think, okay, maybe, if this guy's selling all these drugs, maybe Benny the Butcher is the one funding it with his money, with his legal rap money. So I don't know. That's so many thoughts go through police's mind. And they got, they kind of got a right to think that way when it comes to, are you tied to this person because you're hanging out with this person? That's fair. But when you're trying to plant guns and all this stuff, that's illegal. That's fucked up. I'm surprised that case of Prodigy saying that never got investigated by the police. But, most, not all, but majority of police officers end up being corrupt. So, yeah, crazy story, man. Just wanted to talk about that and definitely want to look more into it down the line with a documentary. Continuing on, this this was kind of disappointing in my eyes. I was surprised by this news because I was like, I thought it was a great campaign. So Snoop Dogg did a campaign where he said, "I quit smoking. I'm quitting smoking weed." Right? Everybody went crazy. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, he quit. I gotta smoke one more for him." And then other people were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna quit too. Snoop, congratulations." And then like a day or two later, it comes out that he's doing a campaign ad for a smokeless fire thing, whatever it's called. So let's go over the article. Snoop Dogg and Solo Brands partnership is cooked. Just months after the rap superstar revealed that his decision to give up smoke was part of a viral marketing campaign, Solo Brands, the company behind the stunt, has fired its CEO. According to a report from the Daily Outdoor Retailer, the company is going in a different direction after the promo stunt failed to boost revenues. Solo Brands, maker of Solo Stove and other products, has hired former Vista Outdoor CEO Christopher Metz as its new president, chief executive officer, and director of the board, replacing John Maris. News of the CEO change led to harsh criticism online, with one of the users dubbing the Snoop-led campaign a flop. Snoop Dogg initially revealed the news. Yeah, he said, after consideration, I'm going to give up Snoop. The news took fans surprise throughout the world. After the official announcement, however, the legend revealed his true intentions. Rather than actually giving up smoking, he confirmed the relationship with Solo Stove. His decision to give up smoke referred to the stuff that comes from the fire. A hubbub was revealed to be an ad for a limited edition collaboration with Solo Stove, a brand of smokeless fire pits. Yeah, so it's a smokeless fire pit. Which to me, I thought was a great campaign, man. I'm genuinely surprised that it flopped and it didn't do well. Now, did it make me want to buy the product? No, because I don't need a smokeless fire pit. I don't even need a fire pit. So to me, it just wouldn't have been, but it caught a lot of like attention and eyes. If anything, even if it didn't lead to sales, it led to more people knowing about the company name and just the product itself. So maybe just the sales because of the economy. I don't know. But I'm genuinely surprised this didn't, like, I would love to see the numbers. I don't know. I would have loved to see the numbers on this. And I want to see what Snoop Dogg says about this, man. That's a really, really interesting that they revealed this and kind of just put it out there for people to be, to criticize. But I was genuinely surprised by this. I think it was a great campaign. Let me know what you guys think about it, because to me, it was like, it was really funny. He got everybody. For me, personally, when I saw it, I didn't really react to it because I was like, okay, Snoop Dogg's not smoking. Let's see how long this lasts. And the funny thing is like Snoop Dogg the next day posted a photo of himself, and he looked like he was like not smoking weed, was kicking his ass, and people were laughing about it and stuff. But it turns out, he's never stopped smoking. I think Meek Mill responded, was like, yeah, I'm going to stop smoking too. Snoop, you're a legend for not smoking. And then, comes out that he was joking the whole time. So I'm sure Meek Mill is retracting that statement of stopping smoking himself. So yeah, man, it's not really a sad situation, but just very disappointing, because I love the campaign. To me, it was an amazing campaign. Continuing on, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, and Mike Jones. Yes, why am I talking about these three? What is it, 2004, 2005? Yes, it sure as hell feels like it. After the 50 Cent Final Lap Tour, it feels like we're going back to the early 2000s, which I love. But the Still Tippin' song this year is officially going to be 20 years old. And Mike Jones, Paul Wall, and Slim Thug performed at a halftime show on the Houston Texans. So let's go to articles. Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Mike Jones have teased a Still Tippin' tour. Named after the trio's classic 2004 hit, the tour appeared to be confirmed by the Texas Trio in a video posted online. Wall, Thug, and Jones were on the field at the NRG Stadium, home of the Houston Texans, when Jones said the tour is official, man. Wall then shows the back of Jones' hoodie with an embezzlement with words Still Tippin' Tour and the number 44. Fofo, I'm Tip. Man, that song is one of the, like, I tell you, they don't make hip hop music like that anymore, man. Like, that beat is just utterly ridiculous, man. Let's play the video clips.
Yes, sir. I Big Slim, what it do? Mike Jones, what's up, baby?
Hey, the tour is official, man. The tour is official.
Hey, you see in the back of the shirt saying, Still Tippin' Tour. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I'm super excited about this tour. I will go see this tour when they stop by Atlanta, and hopefully I can interview all three of them on the podcast. I'm going to try to make that happen because I can get in contact with Mike Jones immediately. So I'm going to see if when the tour dates come, I'm going to hit up Mike Jones and be like, listen, when you guys come near Atlanta, please, all three of you, that would be the most legendary interview I'll ever have. So I'll be super excited about that. But They performed at the halftime show during the Texans' playoff win against the Cleveland Browns on Saturday night, January 13th. So it was released. The song was released November 2004. So it's going to be officially 10 years this year. I would love to do a documentary on Mike Jones' album. Who is Mike Jones? That'd be really great as well because I love that album, and it's one of my favorites from the early 2000s. So, yeah. Paul Wall, he's been killing him, and a lot of verses he's been doing recently has been amazing. He hasn't missed a single fucking step. Mike Jones, to me personally, has released some great songs as the years have gone on, but they've just been slept on because he's not the mainstream light. But I think Mike Jones has finally figured out his label paperwork situation because he was dealing with a lot of like labels, suing the label, making money from them, and they're stealing money from him. So, when I was on the phone with him a while ago, he was just talking about how much issues that basically for Mike Jones, this is the craziest thing ever, right? The Mike Jones situation is the label didn't expect him to perform as well as he did. So they didn't pay him for that difference. So that's like me, hiring somebody and being like, okay, I expect you to get me 100,000 views per video, but instead you get 500,000 or 1 million views per video. And I don't pay you that difference of what I expected you to do. And that's what happened to Mike Jones. They expected him to sell 500,000 copies of his album. He ended up selling like 1.5 million. And they didn't pay him that 1 million difference. They only paid him for that 500,000 he sold, which is like literally robbery. That's stealing. That's fucked up. So, then that's how kind of Mike Jones had his fall off. Because if you're beefing with your label, the labels back then would be the ones that would promote you. You didn't have social media like that. You had a MySpace, and then Facebook was just starting up. But you didn't have social media like that to kind of constantly stay in people's faces. So you beef with your label, and they're the ones promoting. They're the ones putting money behind you. They're obviously going to stop doing that and stop promoting you because now you guys got to have issues with each other. So unfortunate situation out there. I think he still makes great music. Obviously, Paul Wall. I haven't really paid attention much to Slim Thug, but I'm sure he's also been great musically, I assume. But I'm here for this tour. I'm going to definitely go see it. Just wanted to talk about it because that's really exciting, man. I'm glad I get to finally see a lot of these artists when I was a kid I didn't get to see live. So I will definitely be attending this. And hopefully Chamillionaire does one. Oh, my God. That would be like a dream come true. If Chamillionaire does a tour, and he teams up with other artists as well, I would be so fucking happy. I would love to see that. So maybe they can bring Chamillionaire on this tour. Oh, my God. That'd be amazing. That would be, I will stop at Houston to watch it. I will stop in Atlanta to watch it. Shit, I might even go to L.A. I don't even know. We'll see. But I'm excited for it. So we'll keep our eye out and see when the dates of that actually starts. Billboard Hot 100. Let's get into the charts. I remember when I ended the podcast, season 3, I didn't go over the Billboard Hot 100 because it was a bunch of Christmas records. They're still taking over at that time. But now all those have kind of gone away, thankfully, and charts are back to normal. And the industry plant, Jack Harlow, with Lovin' On Me is still number 1. Unfortunate because I've never heard this song. I still haven't heard this song, but it's still number 1. Cruel Summer, Taylor Swift, number 2. Greedy, Tate McRae, number 3. I Remember Everything, Zach Bryan, Casey Musgraves, number 4. Paint the Town Red, Doja Cat, number 5. SZA, Snoop, Snooze, number 6. Water, Tyler, number 7. Lose Control, Teddy Swims, number 8. Agura Hills, Doja Cat, number 9. Last Night, Morgan Wallen, number 10. Going down the list, FTCU, Nicki Minaj, number 15. Rich Baby Daddy, Drake, number 18. Fuck You Mean, Gunna, number 24. Everybody, Nicki Minaj, number 25. First Person Shooter, Drake, number 26. Kill Bill, SZA, number 33. Usher, Good Good, number 34. I Know Travis Scott, number 37. JID, Surround Sound, number 40. That went up a couple slots. Going down, You Broke My Heart, Drake, number 47. I Don't Give a Fuck, Drake, number 51. Pretty cool, man. He's pretty much, a lot of these tracks are pretty much staying in the, 20s to 50s. That's good. Tekka, 500 Pounds, number 56. Big X The Plug, number 65. That's climbing up, man. He's gotten some numbers, Big X The Plug. He's been doing his thing. Fiend, Travis Scott, number 74. Virginia Beach, Drake, number 78. Richmond, North of Richmond, Oliver Anthony went up a couple of slots, number 81. It's probably because all those Christmas songs leaving. My Eyes, Travis Scott, number 82. Great Gatsby, Rod Wave, number 83. Slime You Out, Drake, number 86. Roll It Up, Lace It. Juice WRLD, Eminem, and Benny Blanco, number 91. That went down. Its peak was at 85. It's at 91 right now. So, yeah, I didn't even realize this track dropped. Like it was, I found it like on the Twitter timeline. I was like, whoa, Juice WRLD has a song with Eminem come out. So, I don't know. I don't think the promo on it wasn't really that good, but I mean, what do you expect? The guy's been passed away for a while now. By the way, speaking of Juice WRLD, I want to talk about this just briefly because I don't like entertaining or even reporting on this type of stuff. But his ex is the corniest person ever, and she deserves everything bad that's going to happen to her because what she's done is just utterly ridiculous. I'm not even going to talk about it. You can just Google Juice WRLD's ex and you'll find stuff about it. Horrible person. Fuck it, I'm going to say it. She is a horrible person. She started an OnlyFans and put Juice WRLD and hers sex tapes on her OnlyFans to sell. Mind you, this is a person that is deceased, that's no longer here. You're taking private, personal tapes of you and him to make money and clout and fame off it. Disgusting human being. This is why you watch out who you get with, because somebody that would do this to you clearly never cared about you in the first place. Disgusting person. She deserves everything bad coming her way. I was furious about that. I was furious about platforms covering it. I was like, why are you guys even fucking talking about this? Don't give her the attention she wants. I saw some shit on my timeline. I was like, God, I need to block people. Anybody that was reporting on it, I was ignoring, blocking, getting them out the way because disgusting, man. No respect, no values. Some people that were raised with just none of that, man. And rest in peace to Juice WRLD, man. Very sad that his legacy is somewhat being, I'm not saying being tarnished completely because he's obviously lives a way bigger legacy than her dumbass could ever live. But the fact that she's even putting this in his history is disgusting. So I was very furious about that. Not cool at all, man. But regardless, whatever. She's going to get whatever's coming to her. Karma. I believe in karma at least. So, and that's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. As always, I appreciate you all sharing, liking, watching, listening, whatever it is that you're doing. I appreciate you all. It is still freezing in this office. This heater has not been doing anything for me. I should have bought like a bigger one, but I don't even want to spend the fucking money or had the money spent. So hopefully when I record the next episode, the heater is actually on. But Spotify, Deezer, Podcast, YouTube, all that. Have an amazing night, day, whenever you listen to this, and peace.